Hey y'all, what's up? Listen, I am live with you today again. Thank you for all your prayers and positivity sent. The internet is currently working. I just thank y'all. Y'all don't understand. I was so frustrated yesterday that the poor little man that I was talking to was all sad, y'all. Like, I was trying to be nice, nasty to him, like, hey, you need to get this fixed. You need to get this fixed now because I'm tired of it. And he was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, there's really nothing we can do about it. Y'all, he was trying, bless his heart. He was trying so hard, and I was trying not to be mean to him because he was just answering a phone call, right? Like it wasn't something that he could actually fix. So if you're coming on, say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here so that I can shout you out and say, hey, what's up, y'all? Let me put some chapstick on these lips. I might be out, child, while I'm playing. But let me know that you're here. I see I got about 12 people on there, so I'm going to be looking down a little bit so that I can look at the comments because I'm in Zoom right now, and so I can't do both. Okay, so we are doing Plan With Me, right? We're going to be doing one every single day. Today we're using Black History flashcards. Okay, so Black History flashcards. From Urban Intellectuals. I really like these, and so I wanted to show you how I use these. This is one of the things you guys always ask me about is how do I teach history? Because I am so big on not teaching the false narrative that we have been taught in the public school system for years. And so one of my things, if you know, I do not enjoy history. And so I do outsource that somewhat. So every time a particular teacher, her name is Dr. Sheba Quinn. Every time she has a Black History course or something to that effect, and I can get it within my budget, I try to get my kids in her class. I think they have taken, let's see, what have they taken? They've taken From Africa to America. They have taken, I think, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, somebody else. What else have they taken? The most recent one, American Government. So they got to learn the Constitution and what it is and walk through the Articles of Constitution. So they have been going with her for a little bit. And as soon as she prepares for her next year of courses, they will be put in those as well. Because like I said, unfortunately, I do not enjoy history, but she does. And so since she does, I will put a teacher in front of them that enjoys it, right? It makes a difference. So I'm not going to be before you long. I literally only plan on being before you for 30 minutes. In the meantime, ask your questions. Again, I'm looking on my phone for comments. Let's see. Hey, Paula. Hey, Erica. Hey, Kia. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Angela. So in the meantime, that's what I plan to do. If you can do me a favor, share. Let's get some people in here because people have all kinds of questions, but we're going to get started. So if you're unfamiliar with Urban Intellectual cards, I'm going to open up a new set for you that I have not used, but I'm also going to show you ones that we are currently using. So right now we are using volume 1. Okay. And I will show you how they come. There's 52 cards. Okay. And they're pretty sturdy. They're pretty nice, right? They're pretty good. And basically they have the picture of whomever it is. Let's see. This is Fannie Lou Hamer. Okay, and then on the back of it, holy cow, I just knocked all the other cards up, my bad. On the back side of it, it's got a few little facts about her. So voting rights activist, civil rights leader, worked for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, helped poor and needy families in her Mississippi community, vice chair of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, and elected as a National Democratic Party delegate in 1972, died on March 14th, 1977. And according to the New York Times, none of us would be where we are today had she not been here then. Okay, so I don't know much about her, to be very honest with you. So we're going to use her card. I'm not going to use one that I already have. I'm going to use her card and show you how I would plan a lesson so that I could learn and my kids could learn at the same time. So this is the one we're going to use. Now, if you are OCD-ish like me, then you have an issue with A, cards being out of order, B, cards being bent up or torn or ripped, right? And so one of the tips that I can give you is to laminate your cards. So I went to Walmart and got a cheap little laminator. I think it was like $25 at the most with some laminating sheets. And I laminated the cards that we use. So whatever cards that we're currently using, I actually laminate them and cut them out and sit them to the side to prevent my kids from bending and being kids, right? Like, I know that sounds weird, but don't judge me. That's how I am, okay? So I'm going to peek at the comments real quick. Hey, Danique. Kristen, what age range does she teach? It depends on the course. So she's very specific on her courses. The ones that they did the last course that they did, it was like an elementary, middle school-ish. Well, it was about a middle school-ish level, but there were younger kids taking it, and they were able, the point and the goal was when they were done with that course, they were able to take the CLEP test and get college credit for American government. That was the goal. So she centered her whole curriculum around that. So my youngest, you know how young my youngest one is, and my oldest son, they both took the course with her and got that and were prepared to take the test. Have they taken the test? No, but I felt confident that they could, maybe with a little bit more information or spend a little bit more time with them as far as studying and preparing for the test, but they could have done that as well. But the last course that they did, it's different levels. So there's elementary, there's middle school, and there's high school. My oldest one took a course with her as well, and it was high school. And so that was really cool, even though it was the same course. So it was from Africa to America, but all the two younger ones were on one level, and then my high schooler was on a different level, but it was the same curriculum. It was just different the way she did it. Yeah, Jada says, that's a great idea. I get laminating happening. Yeah, I like laminating stuff, to be honest with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do that, right? Okay, so we're going to start with Fannie Lou Hamer, okay? This is the new set that, well, this isn't even new, guys. I haven't gone through the first set. So this was a set that I got with it, volume 3, which is the STEM kit, the STEAM kit, and I haven't even opened this one. Like, I haven't even opened these deck of cards at all. So they're great. You can use them all year long. So even when I am not outsourcing education as far as history is concerned, I can still use these cards to continue to educate the kids in the meantime while I'm waiting for her to come up with new courses. So that's how I choose, because if you're familiar with us, the way that we do it, 6 weeks on, 1 week off, 6 weeks on, 1 week off. So I need something for them to do in the meantime while she's putting out her new course, and this is what I choose to do along with Black 365, and I'll do theirs tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to Fannie Lou Hamer, right? So this is the first thing that I would do. It's got some points on there that I would look at. I'm going to try to hold it up to you so you can see. Okay, those are the different facts. Those are the different things that it has on the back of the card. So the very first thing that I would do is says voting rights activist, civil rights leader, and philanthropist. So I'm going to, help me, Lord, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to go on and we're going to look up who is Fannie Lou Hamer. So we're going to go here, okay? All right. So then as far as I am concerned, I'm going to look at some credible resources that I think would be great and give her some good information. Give some good information about her. So here it is, Fannie Lou Hamer, 1964. Let's see what this talks about, womenshistory.org. So let's see what they talk about. So I would go through here and read this article, and I would pick some things that were important about who she was. Maybe when she was born, you know, who she was married to, her kids, like just the basic things about her as a person before I get into the civil rights and all that good stuff. So I would read this article and I would start trying to find different articles. If you are a person who writes everything down or highlights, you could print it and highlight the facts that you want to teach. What I would do, honestly, is, to be honest with you guys, I am big on sticky notes. So I will create a sticky note and say, for instance, I would put at the top, Fannie Lou Hamer, right? So that's going to be the lesson that we're doing. And, oh, she was born in October 6, 1917. So I would do this, okay? I would copy and I would put it on my sticky note, okay? So that's something we're going to talk about. Where was she born? In Montgomery County, Mississippi. Let's see, to sharecroppers. And then we would talk about what sharecroppers are, okay? So we would do this. We would go ahead and copy this, right? And we put it on the sticky note. Okay. And I'll put this here, and then maybe if I had any questions, I'd say like in caps or something so I know it's different. What is a sharecropper? So we're going to talk about what an actual sharecropper is. And it will be a short lesson because it's not the focus of the actual lesson, but I do want my kids to know what that is. So we're going to go ahead and read through the article, right? So this is interesting. In 1961, Hamer received a hysterectomy by a white doctor without her consent while undergoing surgery to remove a uterine tumor. Such forced sterilization of black women as a way to reduce the black population was so widespread it was dubbed a Mississippi I can't say it, y'all. Don't judge me. Unable to have children of their own, the Hamers adopted 2 daughters. Okay, so that is an interesting fact. So we would talk about that, and not only would we talk about that, but later on I would make a note to go back to this and let's discuss this. Like, let's talk about the appendectomy. There we go. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't spit that out. And so we would go back and talk about that later on. But that's an interesting fact that I didn't know, right? And my kids wouldn't know as well. So we go through there and we do this. Okay, so we're going to do that, right? I'm only going to grab those 2 things. Then what I would do is I would go to Teachers Pay Teachers. Okay. I just went into my card. I was like, ooh, Lord, I hope I don't have anything in my card. I don't. Let's see. So I'm going to go to Teachers Pay Teacher. Okay. And I'm going to type her in. Okay. And see what teachers have created. What have they created? Have they created a worksheet? So it looks like this person has created a research activity book. So let's see what this is about. That might be better. My kids are a little older, so this probably would not work for them. You got a testimony of Fannie Lou Hamer. So what are we talking about here? And you can preview whatever it is that you want to see. I thought you could make it bigger, but I guess you can't. Maybe. Okay. So it talks about the product description and what it is. Nobody has purchased that. That doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, but you do want to look at it. It looks like it's for 8th graders. So I would grab something to work with. Okay, so let's say, okay, let's do this. The word search. My kids like word searches, right? So maybe on Wednesday we'll do that. So I'll go ahead and add that to my cart. So that's a part of their stuff. So I'm going to go back to my sticky note, right? And I'm going to do assignment, word search, okay? So at this point, I'm literally just planning and putting everything together. So I'm going to go back and do word search. Okay. Now I'm going to go to YouTube because YouTube is everybody's friend, right? And I'm going to look and see what I can find. Okay. It says powerful testimony. So I would go listen to these. I would watch these myself. Let's see. Civil rights legend, remembering those who worked side by side with her and struggled for voting rights. The interview. Okay, so this would probably be one that we would look at because it's got her actually speaking, one of these 2, her actually speaking. So say for instance, I watched this one and I like this one, right? Okay, let's see what she's talking about. I've seen this before. But let's see what she's talking about.
Like they used to do in the past, walking.
I don't have my speakers on. Bless me, Father. Okay, so say for instance, I did watch this 100% and I'm comfortable with my kids watching this video. It's only 2 minutes and 23 seconds, so that's a good little short video that we could do. So what I would do again is go back to my sticky note. I would post, I did not copy my link correctly. Sorry. Let's see. I would copy that link, okay, and go back to my sticky note, and I would post my video. Now, as a part of the video, what do I want this to go along with? Do I want them to write what they thought about what she said? Do I want them to write key points? Do I want them to write, like, what do I want them to do? So let's say I want them to write something that stood out to you, that you feel is important to you. Okay. All right. And so this right here, and this is how also, guys, you make one subject or one concept or one subject matter into a really big, broad lesson. So remember, I told you as a family, we only do history Mondays and Wednesdays. So we would have to do it longer. We'd have to do a subject longer. So we would probably end up studying somebody like Fannie Lou Hamer for at least a month, probably around there. So this is just lesson 1, possibly lesson 2, lesson 1 and lesson 2. So this is probably like 1 week worth of work. So I'm going to look at the comments. Y'all let me know if you have any questions. Hey, Kristen. I'm here, Diego Elegance. Hey, Latavia. Kristen says TPT is the best. It is. Are you sticky notes? Are you sticky notes on the computer? Yes, Kristen, I'm using sticky notes on the computer. And the reason why for me is because these sticky notes are connected to my laptop and everything else that we have in the house. And so even if I'm not sitting at the desktop planning my lesson or planning whatever it is that I'm going to do, I can still pick up on a different, device and pick up where I left off with that sticky note. So it's all connected. So that's why I do it that way. Hey, Sean. It is. TPT is a lifesaver. So this, guys, just to show you in short, okay, this right here is a week worth of lessons. Okay, so we do history on Mondays and Wednesdays. I would probably do the who is Fannie Lou Hamer would be the first week. Okay, so we would take those and that information about about her history and who she was. We would talk about the hysterectomy. My kids would ask questions. They would flat out say, like, why the heck did they do that? That was rude. They shouldn't have done that. And so then we would have a discussion about that. Then they would do a word search as part of a fun activity for them to do. And then they would also watch the YouTube video and then write whatever it is. They would keep everything in a spiral notebook. I thought I had one here, but they would keep everything in a spiral notebook. If they wanted to print pictures, anything to that effect, they would glue them to the spiral notebook, and we would continue using the same spiral notebook until we're done completely studying her. Okay, and then at the end, after we have done everything as far as that's concerned, then they'll present some type of thing, whether it's a poster, whether it's an act, whether they want to do her speech, whether they want to tell why she's important, how it affected them, whatever the case may be. They would come to me at the end of that 4 to 6 weeks, and they would say, okay, mommy, Fannie Lou Hamer is the bomb, and this is why she's the bomb. They'd have whatever it is. It could be a, y'all know those charts. I can't think of what they're called. The 2 circles with the thing in between, child. Why can't I think about it? So 2 circles, they come together, and then it's got the stuff that are similarities. And so you could do that. They could compare and contrast. They could do so much with just this one lesson. And so I wanted to show you guys this because it is completely easy to lesson plan. Like, you guys, we are blowing this way out of proportion. Like, we're making it way more difficult than it has to be. So that was a lesson in short of how I would plan a whole history lesson for my child. So if you have any questions, thank you. Venn diagram. Thank you, Kristen. I should have known you'd know. So if you have any questions, let me know. Bea says, once you're done with her, do you come back to it for review, or do you move on to the next? So Bea, if we're spending a month or 6 weeks on a person, then we're done. So we won't, after they prove to me that they understand, they know who she is, we're done with that. Now, at the end of the school year, if we do a big end of the school year project, they can pick one particular person that they want to do, or they want to act out, or they want to, portray, whatever the case may be, and they want to go back to their notes on Fannie Lou Hamer, they can do that as well, right? Like, it's up to them what they want to do. They'll have a notebook full of stuff. And guys, what we do is, I do have one of my spirals. When back to school is going on, y'all don't talk about my spiral. I use it a lot. Look, it's ripped all up, stapled and everything. We have tons of these. I think, like, I want to say at least 50 to 60. I try to buy at least 10 for each of us. And so they will have a whole history spiral that they can go back and do whatever project they want to do concerning whomever they want to do it on. So we won't necessarily go back to them, but if they choose at the end of the year to do a project on someone, that would be, where they would go to their notes. Hey, Malika. Do we click on the Urban Electricals page to purchase cards? Let me get you that link, Kristen. Hold on one second. And here's the thing too, guys. I just posted a link there in the thing. If you wanted to, so my kids are, again, I have 10, 13, and 16. So mine would be a little bit more advanced. My 13-year-old and 16-year-old, of course. And then my 10-year-old likes to hang on their coattail and doesn't want a kiddie lesson, right? Like, so he doesn't want to do work that's underneath him is what he pretty much says. So mine was made more, let's think about this, let's do this. But there are all different things that you could do. If you wanted to, you could have your child do a timeline. So let's say, for instance, you don't want to, their end of the end of the session project could be a timeline, right? So they could do a timeline with pictures of her, younger, what she did when she, even if, let's say, for instance, there are no pictures of her when she was younger that are available, you could do like she was born in Mississippi and when she was born, or, the date that she was born. Then, you could do about adopting kids and why that was important that she adopted kids. It was important because that doctor gave her an hysterectomy involuntarily. And then you could go down to the next thing, right? So then she started her civil rights, movement, her career as a civil rights person. And so then you advocate, I'm sorry. And then you could put that there. So there's different things that you can do for kids of different ages. Even if you wanted to make it even for the babies, for the younger ones, you could watch that video that we had and break it down for them into smaller bite-sized pieces, and then ask them, what do you think about this? What do you want? What do you believe? What do you think is true? And have them do their own research as far as that's concerned. So y'all let me know if you have any questions, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me. If you can, please do me a favor and let's get some people in the room. Let's get some replays. Y'all share these in groups because people always ask. That's probably one of the most asked questions is, what do I do for history? And one of the reasons I think that people ask me that all the time, again, is because of my stance on history. And so, for instance, if you're unfamiliar with the way that I feel about history, I do purchase some curriculum, but when I started looking into history curriculum, it was the same stuff that was being taught in traditional school. Not only that, but like one of my favorites is, I wonder, speaking of, if they have like the Who Was books, if they have a Fannie Lou Hamer Who Was book, I would buy that too. And the kids would be assigned to read a certain amount of pages every single day, to also research and do all that as far as that's concerned. We have tons of those. But I brought the Who Was books was because even though I do love them, some of the things that they say are not correct. Like I think one thing that bothered me was the Harriet Tubman Who Was book, and it said that Harriet Tubman as a slave was a happy child, and that irritated the crap out of me. Like, I'm like, do you understand what was happening back in slavery days? Like, how dare you say that she was a happy child being somebody's slave? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And so when we read that as a family, when we read that as a group, we had to have that conversation. Okay, so the book says that Harriet Tubman was a happy slave. As a little kid, she was happy as a slave. What do you think? How do you feel when you think we're requiring you to do too much work around the house? How do you think she felt in that moment? Do you think she was a happy slave? Okay, you do. Well, why do you think she was a happy slave? And then my kids may say, well, because she was a kid and she didn't have a care in the world, or just giving them an opportunity to think outside of the box instead of giving them the directive like, she wasn't happy, child. I bet she wasn't happy. And so those are things that you have to think about when you're teaching and educating your kids. I don't say not necessarily show them the stuff that you believe is incorrect, but then also give them the reasons and give them the proof of why it's incorrect. Don't just like hide, like, oh, we're not going to read that because that's incorrect. No, we're going to read it, and this is why this is incorrect. These are the facts. This is what we think, or this is, how would you feel in this situation? Do you think you would be a happy slave? No, mommy, I don't think I'd be a happy slave. Okay, well, do you think Harriet Tubman was a happy slave? And so you have those type of conversations with them. And to be honest with you, not only do I get this question about history from brown people of color, not only that, but also other people come to me all the time and say, I don't like the history that's being taught. I like the rest of the curriculum. How do you teach Black history? How do you teach American history? How do you say to your children, well, Christopher Columbus didn't really discover, this is what happened. How do you teach them about Thanksgiving and what it really meant and how do you do that? And so that means that you're going to have to go get some supplies like this, and you're going to have to do your own research and figure out the answer to those questions. And that's what I do, to be very honest with you. So let me get back to the comments. Kristen says, can also do a character analysis, works well for your students, physical characteristics, personality traits, actions. There you go, Kristen. I should have known you'd know, Kristen. Kristen got it together. Hey, Christelle. Kristen says, yeah, that would irritate me too. Yeah. So that's how I plan a lesson. So today was the Urban Intellectuals lesson plan with me, a quick lesson just to show you right off the bat how you can get started. I have posted the link in the comments. Go to the link and go get your cards right now because A, they're on sale and I don't know how long they'll be on sale. B, here's the thing with that too. I was looking, I thought my fence was open. Here's the thing with that as well is during the summertime, during this time, end of May, June, July, all that kind of stuff, a lot of curriculums go on sale because people are already starting to prepare for their next school year. And so in that instance, it is important and it is an imperative that you go ahead and take advantage of those things. So right now, Urban Intellectuals is having a sale. And so since they are having a sale, I'm telling you now, use the link. I pinned it. Go get it and get the cards. I am an affiliate. It is an affiliate link. So if you purchase the cards using my link, I do get a little bit of a kickback for that. So anything that you can do is appreciated because I'm giving my time and showing you how I use them and showing you how to lesson plan and all that good stuff. That would be great. If you choose not to purchase Urban Intellectuals, it's cool. It's fine. If you want to bless me just for showing up every day to show you how I lesson plan, you can do that as well. My Cash App is HS Guru. And then my PayPal is help@Sean the Homeschool Guru. So guys, be back with me tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. and I will show you also how I use the Black 365 calendar to incorporate history as far as that's concerned as well. And I use that one a little bit different. I would use that one more as a writing prompt than an actual lesson as far as it's concerned, okay? So we'll talk about that tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Set a reminder, guys. I will be here, God willing, Lord, that the internet works, that I'm still here, healthy and able to move around. So thank y'all so much for joining. You can post questions in the comments and I will come back and answer them after the fact. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful, blessed, amazing freaking day. Do y'all hear me? Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a good day. Again, have a good day. Bye, guys.